Welcome. My name is Shawn, and I'm here with you today in this beautiful, beautiful forest arrangement around me. Large evergreens and a running river. I'm truly blessed to be here, to be surrounded by all this natural beauty. So what I wanted to... It's funny how I don't even take that moment. I just rush right into something. How often we do that anyways. So what I wanted to talk to you today about is one of my favorite books called The Untethered Soul. Now, the difference is I have talked about this in the past. I want to talk about it by reading a portion of chapter 1 for you and then discussing it, because I truly think this book has been extremely foundational for my healing journey. And so I really, really wanted to share it with you, and what better space to do it than to share it within this forest paradise around me, this temperate rainforest that I'm in. All right, so let's start off. This is The Untethered Soul, Chapter 1. Shoot, I can't remember her name. What is her name? Darn, here she comes. What is it? Sally, Sue? She just told me. What's the matter with me? This is gonna be embarrassing. In case you haven't noticed, you have a mental dialogue going on inside your head that never stops. It just keeps going and going. Have you ever wondered why it talks in there? How does it decide what to say and when to say it? How much of what it says turns out to be true? How much of what it's saying is even important? And if right now you're hearing, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a voice inside my head. That's the voice we're talking about. If you're smart, you'll take a time to step back and examine the voice and get to know it better. The problem is you're too close to be objective. So you have to step away and watch it converse. While you're driving, you hear the internal dialogue like this. Wasn't I supposed to call Fred? Oh, I should have. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I forgot. He's going to be so mad. Oh, he'll never talk to me again. Maybe I should call him right now. No, I don't want to stop the car right now. Notice that the voice takes both sides of the conversation. It doesn't care what side it takes, just as long as it gets to keep on talking. And when you're tired and trying to sleep, it's the voice inside your head that says, what am I doing? I can't go to sleep. I forgot to call Fred. Oh, I remembered in the car, but I didn't call. If I don't call him now, oh, wait a minute, it's too late. I shouldn't call him now. I don't even know why I thought about it. I need to fall asleep. Oh, shoot, now I can't fall asleep. I'm not tired anymore, but I have a big day and I have to get up early. No wonder you can't sleep. Why do you even tolerate that voice talking to you all the time? Even if it's saying something soothing and nice, it's still disturbing everything you're doing. If you spend some time observing this mental voice, the first thing you'll notice is that it never shuts up. When it's left on its own, it just talks. Imagine if you were someone walking around constantly talking to himself. You'd think he was strange. You'd wonder, if he's the one doing the talking, and if he's the one who's doing all the listening, he obviously knows what he's going to say before he says it, so what's the point? The same is true for the voice inside your head. Why is it talking? It's you who's talking, and it's you who's listening. And then the voice argues with itself. Who is it arguing with? Who could possibly win? It gets very confusing. Just listen. I think I should get married. No, you're not ready. You'll be sorry, but I love him. Oh, come on. You felt that way about Tom. What if you had married him? If you watch carefully, you'll see that it's just trying to find a comfortable place to rest. It will change sides in a moment if it seems that it'll help. And if it doesn't even quiet down when it finds out that it's wrong, it simply adjusts its viewpoint and keeps on going. If you pay attention, these mental patterns will become obvious to you. It's actually shocking realization when you first notice your mind is constantly talking. You might even try to yell at it in a feeble attempt to shut it up. But then you realize that The voice is yelling at the voice. Shut up, I want to go to sleep. Why do you have to talk all the time? Obviously, you can't shut it up that way. The best way to free yourself from this incessant chatter is to step back and view it objectively. Just view the voice as a vocalizing mechanism that is capable of making it appear like someone is in there talking to you. Don't think about it, just notice it. No matter what the voice is saying, it's all the same. It doesn't matter if it's saying nice things or mean things, worldly things or spiritual things. It doesn't matter because it's still just a voice talking inside your head. In fact, the only way to get you the distance from that voice is to stop differentiating what it's saying. Stop feeling that one thing it says to you and the other thing it says is not you. If you're hearing it talk, it's obviously not you. You are the one who hears the voice. You are the one who notices that it's talking. You do hear it when it talks, don't you? Make it say hello right now. Say it over and over a few times. Now, shout it inside. Can you hear yourself saying hello inside? Of course you can. There's a voice talking, and there is you who notices the voice talking. The problem is that it's easy to notice the voice saying hello, but it's difficult to see that no matter what the voice says, it is still just a voice talking and you listening. There is absolutely nothing the voice can say that is more you than anything else it says. Suppose you were looking at 3 objects, a flower pot, a photograph, and a book. And you were asked, which of these objects is you? You'd say, well, none of them. I'm the one who's looking at what you're putting in front of me. It doesn't matter what you put in front of me. It's always going to be me looking at it. You see, it's an active subject perceiving various objects. This is also true of hearing a voice inside the head. It doesn't make any difference what it's saying. You are the one who's aware of it. As long as you think that one thing it's saying is you, but the other things it's saying aren't you, you've lost your objectivity. You may want to think of yourself as the part that says the nice things, but that's still the voice talking. You may like what it says, but it's not you. There is nothing more important to true growth than realizing that you are not the voice in the mind. You are the one who hears it. If you don't understand this, you will try to figure out which of the many things the voice said is really you. People go through many changes in the name of trying to find myself. They want to discover which of these voices, which of these aspects of their personality is who they truly are. The answer is simple, none of them. If you watch it objectively, you will come to see that much of what the voice says is meaningless. Most of the talking is just a waste of time and energy. The truth is that most of life will unfold in accordance with forces far outside your control, regardless of what your mind says about it. It's like sitting down at night and deciding whether the sun will come up in the morning. The bottom line is the sun will come up and the sun will go down. Billions of things are going on around this world. You can think about it all you want, but life is still going to keep happening. In fact, your thoughts have far less impact on the world than you might think. If you're willing to be objective and watch all of your thoughts, you will see that a vast majority of them have no relevance. They have no effect on anything or anybody except you. They are simply making you feel better or worse about what is going on now, what has gone on in the past, or what might go on in the future. If you spend your time hoping that it doesn't rain tomorrow, you're wasting your time. Your thoughts don't change the rain. You will someday come to see that there is no use for that incessant chatter, and there is no reason to constantly attempt to figure everything out. Eventually, you will see that the real cause of trouble is not life itself. It's the commotion that the mind makes about life that really causes problems. Now, this raises a serious question. If so much of what the voice says is meaningless and unnecessary, then why does it even exist? The secret to answering this question lies in the understanding why it says what it says when it says it. For example, in some cases, the mental voice talks for the same reasons that a tea kettle whistles. That is, there's a buildup of energy inside that needs to be released. If you watch objectively, you will see that when there's a buildup of nervous, fearful, or desire-based energies inside, the voice becomes extremely active. This is easy to see when you're angry with someone and you feel like telling them off. Just watch how many times the inner voice yells at them before you see them. When energy builds up inside, you want to do something about it. The voice talks because you're not okay inside, and talking releases energy. You will notice, however, that when you are not particularly bothered by something, it still talks. When you're walking down the street, it says things like, "Look at that dog, it's a Labrador. Hey, there's another dog in the car. He looks a lot like my first dog, Shadow. Whoa, there's an old Oldsmobile. It's got Alaska plates. You don't see many of those down here." It is actually narrating the world for you. But why do you need this? You already see what's happening outside. How does it help to repeat itself through your mental voice? You should examine this very closely. With a simple glance, you instantly take a tremendous detail of whatever you're looking at. If you see a tree, you effortlessly see the branches, the leaves, the flowering buds. Why do you have to verbalize what you've already seen? Look at that dogwood. The leaves are so beautiful with the white flowers. Look how many flowers there are. Wow, it's so beautiful. What you'll see, if you study this carefully, is that the narration makes you feel more comfortable with the world around you. Like backseat driving, it makes you feel as though you have more control. You actually feel like you have a relationship with them. A tree is no longer just a tree in the world that has nothing to do with you. It is a tree that you saw, labeled, and judged. By verbalizing it mentally, you brought that initial direct experience of the world into the realms of your thoughts. There it becomes integrated with your thoughts, such as those making up the value system and historical experiences. Take a moment to examine the difference between your experience of the outside world and your interactions with the mental world. When you're just thinking, you're free to create whatever thoughts you want in your mind. And these thoughts are expressed through the voice. You are very accustomed to settling into a playground of the mind and creating and manipulating thoughts. This inner world is an alternative environment that is under your control. You are very accustomed of settling into a playground of the mind and creating and manipulating thoughts. This inner world is an alternative environment that is under your control. The outside world, however, marches to its own laws. When the voice narrates the outside world to you, those thoughts are now side by side in parity with all your other thoughts. All these thoughts intermixed and actually influence your experience of the world around you. What you end up experiencing is really a personal presentation of the world according to you, rather than the stark, unfiltered experience of what's really out there. This mental manipulation of the outside experience allows you to buffer reality as it comes in. For example, there are myriad things that you see at any given moment, yet you only narrate a few of them. The ones you discuss in your mind are the ones that matter to you. With this subtle form of pre-processing, you manage to control the experience of reality so that it fits together inside your mind. Your consciousness is actually experiencing your mental model of reality, not reality itself. You have to watch this carefully because you do it all the time. You're walking outside in the winter, you start to shiver, and the voice says, "It's cold." Now, how did that help? You already knew it was cold. You're the one who's experiencing the cold. Why is it telling you this? To recreate the world within your mind, because you can control your mind, whereas you can't control the world. That is why you mentally talk about it. If you can't get the world the way you like it, you internally verbalize it, judge it, complain about it, and then decide what to do about it. This makes you feel more empowered. When your body experiences cold, there may be nothing that you can do to affect the temperature, but when your mind verbalizes it's cold, you can say, "Well, almost home, just in a few more minutes." Now you can feel better. In the thought world, there's always something you can do to control the experience. Basically, you recreate the outside world yourself, and then you live in the mind. What if you decided not to do this? If you decided not to narrate and instead just consciously observe the world, you will feel more open and exposed. This is because you really don't know what will happen next, and your mind is accustomed to helping you. It does this by processing your current experiences in a way that makes them fit with the views of the past and the visions of the futures. All this helps to create a semblance of control. If your mind doesn't do this, you simply become too uncomfortable. Reality is just too real for most of us, so we temper the mind. You will come to see that the mind talks all the time because you gave it a job to do. You use it as a protective mechanism, a form of defense. Ultimately, it makes you feel more secure. As long as that's what you want, you will be forced to constantly use your mind to buffer yourself from life instead of living it. This world is unfolding and really has very little to do with your thoughts. It was here before you came, and it will be here long after you leave. In the name of attempting to hold the world together, you're really just trying to hold yourself together. True personal growth is about transcending the part of you that is not okay and needs protection. This is done by constantly remembering that you are the one inside that notices the voice talking. That is the way out. The one inside who is aware you are always talking to yourself about yourself is always silent. It is a doorway to the depths of being. You are aware that you are watching the voice talk is to stand at the threshold of a fantastic journey. If used properly, the same mental voice that has been the source of worry, distraction, and general neurosis can become a launching ground for true spiritual awakening. Come to know the one who watches the voice, and you will come to know the one of the greatest mysteries of creation. This is such an amazing, fantastic book, and I want to share with you my connection to, especially just this first chapter. I love it because when I first started reading this book, I was always caught in a loop of constant observation of the outside world. I would walk down the street and I would just talk about everything, complain about everything. Some people thought it was. Sometimes it was complaining, or other times it was just about what I could improve in those buildings, or just general observations of how things were changing that other people didn't realize. And I kept doing it. No matter when I went out, I would just always be talking, and often I would verbalize it. The words would come out of my mouth, and I would be doing this self-talk to myself, and it would be nonstop. And that was the best part of this book, was that I became aware of that. See, sometimes just like when you go into a class and you learn in that class, you may not leave the class with 100% mark. Like, the odds of it are pretty small. You leave with whatever you leave with, but that's the amount of that you absorb. So even when I read this book, I still am fully not there. That voice will come back, but now I have that awareness to kind of quieten it down. And that voice doesn't just talk about like positive stuff. It actually very negative stuff, fear, a lot of times self-doubt or worry and shame and guilt. Like, that's the voice talking as well. There's not just one voice. It's very similar. I talked about it in one of my previous podcasts about entities or low vibrational frequencies being within our field. And to me, that's what those voices are, is their frequencies. And you can kind of imagine if evil being or a low vibrational being were to say something, and it would be saying something that had a frequency, and it would be saying something of its frequency. So those are those negativities that come into you. They say that when we broadcast a frequency, that due to the law of attraction per se, that it has to come back equal. And so when we put out a vibration of anger, then we have to have the vibration of anger come back at us, and you can consider that as a parasite or a low vibrational entity within our field. And that opens up to the allowance of having this voice talk. And yeah, like I said, it's not a matter of getting it to not speak 100%, because it does have benefits to it, but more so being aware of it and therefore in charge of it. because it's not you. And the real important part is learning discernment. Like, discernment is the ability to know who is saying what within your own head. And we realize that the I of me is the one listening to it all. The other things that I thought that were really cool in here is like the examples. I obviously really enjoyed reading the acting part. Even right from the get-go, this book goes into solutions. So the question is, do you hear this voice? Is this something you have the experience of hearing? For me, this was a topic or foundational information, knowledge that really connected with my flow of wisdom. And I was able to see that I was afflicted by this. And it sometimes actually made me say things that I don't even know why I would say. See, that was another part by the ending of this book that it led me to, was to notice that these voices also speak at times when I'm triggered. And in that time, usually when we're triggered, we perhaps have anger. So we say those things that we don't really mean. And that's also the voice in the head. And a lot of times we'll say things that we don't really mean, leading us to larger consequences or a greater opportunity to forgive. I guess you could look at it that way as well. I was able, through finishing this book several times and really taking its information to heart, to stop an argument as I said it, to apologize, to actually have the ability to hear that voice say something, and then just to stop myself and say, hey, like, why did I just say that? Oh, I'm sorry. And it's a genuine sorry, because I was able to see that that voice really wasn't me. Now, that was after I said, me reading the book a couple times. The thing about reading a book multiple times is that each time you read it, it's going to add something to you, and it's going to unlock something deeper, perhaps a deeper insight or a truer cognition. I do think, though, on one hand, one comment that was in here is that our thoughts don't affect the outside world. I would say that they do. So that's where one thing that I didn't fully connect with. I believe that our thoughts do have an effect. Our words are what we project out, but our thoughts are the initial seed, and that seed still has an energy. However, recognizing that it's not you means you're not taking ownership. So I mean that if we're having actual thoughts, they do affect the world if we're having them. However, if it's something else that just keeps putting information out there, one of the things you can do is cancel. That was taught to me to say that if I said something that I no longer resonated with and I realized that I could say cancel, which would pull it back, and then I could replace it with something else. Well, I've even canceled thoughts. So if I had a thought, then I realized, why am I thinking that? Because see, I'm recognizing that this thought is not mine, and therefore, even though I had it and thought about it, because it's the thought that's put there, and then it's the mental energy to actually concentrate on it. And I would realize, I don't even want to be thinking that. It's cancel. Because there are a lot of negative frequencies that have been fed to us so that we could constantly be in that negative state. I guess in a sense, that's where the book finally took me, is to the realization of all the parasitical frequencies that we have that our fields are subjected to. And those are a lot of density and darkness, and they're holding us back because they're weighing us down. If you were to take your auric field, the big sphere that's around you, and as I said before, you had a whole bunch of negative voices that were denser in their frequency and their vibrations, however you want to imagine that in your head. Well, the more of those voices that you're allowing yourself to get tethered to. So it says something and then you go with that frame of thought, even though that really wasn't yours. And then you created an uncomfortable environment because you said something, and then your ego won't let you apologize. You see how all those little things are like webs, and they're creating it more denser, so that your sphere of light has less opportunity to raise. Because as we let go of all of those voices that are inside of our head, we are releasing the tethers to the traumas of our past. And you can even say that on the reverse side as well, that you're also releasing expectations of future. So when you have, for instance, a shame about something, it's being projected on the future. It's tethering you to the future. So it's not just about having wants about something on the future. It's also having expectations of thinking in the future, especially the lower vibrational frequencies. And like I said, you recognize that it's the voices that are in your head that are constantly talking to you. It's not like we need to get mad at these voices. It's just to have an awareness. As I've talked often before, having an awareness of what's happening expands your ability to face the obstacle, to face the challenge, to recognize that the problem, by definition of the word problem, there's a solution to it, and then just going through it. With this particular book, I bought 4 or 5 copies of it, maybe 6. I bought them when I was traveling across Canada, and I wrote in messages to whomever found it, and I left them hiding, 2 in a Tim Hortons and I think 2 in Starbucks, or maybe more than 2 in Starbucks. I don't know. Yeah, to whoever found those, because I really think it's a life-changing book. I don't believe in chance. Like, it's synchronicity. Even the fact that I left those books, the people who found them were supposed to find them. And even if it wasn't for themselves, I trust that those books are going to get into exactly where they needed to be and to help the people they needed to help. I hope you enjoyed this recording. Have a great night. And thank you for sitting here with me in this peaceful, tranquil forest. Good night.